channel. Today we're going to be discussing the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Kind of like a 2025 TBR, if you will. I don't know if I'll end up sticking to this list just because I'm a mood reader and I tend to never stick to the list that I create. But these are the books that I hope to get to in 2025. There are 2 new releases on this list, and then the rest are from my physical TBR or just my TBR in general. So let's get into it. I'm going to be pulling some books out of my A Bag of Books from Barnes & Noble. I love this tote bag and I was finally able to renew my membership and I got it. First book that we are going to be talking about in this video is Magnolia Parks by Jesta Hastings. I have wanted to read this book for a really long time, but I don't know why I just have never really gotten around to it. I really want the UK's version of this cover. I think it is absolutely stunning. I have heard that Jesta Hastings' friend or best friend illustrated these covers. I'm not really sure if I'm correct on that, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these covers are absolutely beautiful. According to Fable, it has a 3.84 star review, and its book summary says, in a dysfunctional relationship, Magnolia and BJ can't stay apart, but as secrets emerge, their world crumbles. A captivating love story set in London. That sounds amazing. And I've also heard that this is kind of like a very Gossip Girl coded book, which makes me even more excited because I love Gossip Girl. Hopefully I'll get to this book in 2025. The second book that I want to read in 2025 is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. The last book that I read in 2024 was The Nightingale, and I absolutely loved it. It destroyed me. It was so good. It was my favorite read of 2024. So I have really high hopes going into another Kristen Hanna book, and I've heard really good things about The Great Alone. My sister absolutely loves this book, so I'm really excited about it. I've also heard that it's a really good winter read, obviously considering it's set in Alaska. On Fable, it has a 4.53 stars, and its little summary is escape to the wild and unpredictable beauty of 1970s Alaska with a desperate family. A gripping tale of survival and the darkness within. That is my second book. I also wanted to acknowledge that I'm not really listing these in any specific order. It's more of just a collective list of what I want to read in 2025. The next book that I want to read is Spy Family by Tetsuya Endo. This is the second book. I have read the first one and I absolutely loved it. I also have watched a little bit of the anime and I absolutely loved it. So I really want to get back into reading the manga series. I know this is a pretty long series, but considering that there are not much words and it's obviously more of a interpreting the pictures, I think it's a great read to add on to my list because it's a quick one. On Fable, it has a 4.49 star rating. I'm not going to include the summary of this book, the second one specifically. I'll do the first book's synopsis just so nothing is spoiled. The first book, according to Fable, in order to infiltrate an elite school, the spy Twilight must create a family, but his daughter can read minds and his wife is an assassin. A hilarious, action-packed home comedy where a makeshift family faces exams and a world crisis. It is so good. I'm so excited to get back into this. I absolutely love Anya and the dog there. So cute. So, this is the third read. The next book on my list is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. As everybody else did, I read the first 2 last year and I love them. They're not my favorite reads, but I did adore the story. I love Xaden, I love Violet, and I'm really excited to see what Rebecca does with Onyx Storm and where the story is heading. So on Fable, somehow it already has a 4.57 star rating. I'm not really sure how that is. Basically, the series set in a brutal world of dragon riders, and Violet, the main character, must survive at Basgiath War College. Suspenseful and sexy, this adventure-filled fantasy is a must-read. So I'm excited for this one. One of my most anticipated reads because the ending of Iron Flame, if you know, you know. The next 2 books that I want to read are both by Emily Henry. The first is Happy Place and the second is Funny Story. I honestly have no idea how I have not read these 2 specifically, or any of Emily Henry's books for that matter. She has literally taken over the romance genre from what I can see, especially on TikTok. She is always popping up on my feed. So I'm really excited to see these. I absolutely love the covers too. I am assuming that I will probably read these more towards the summer months. According to Fable, Happy Place has a 4-star rating. It follows Harriet and Wynne pretending to be together during their annual vacation, but can they hide their true feelings? A witty and heartfelt romance set in a charming Maine cottage. Maine is absolutely adorable, so I already know I'm going to love the setting, and yeah, I'm just excited to get into this. I'm really excited to see Emily Henry's writing style and finally understand why so many people love and adore her books. As for funny story, it has a 4.3 star rating on Fable. Its summary: in a picturesque lakeside town, Daphne finds herself roommates with her ex-fiance's childhood friend. A charming tale of friendship and unexpected love blossoming. That sounds really cute, and I'm just so excited. Like I said, I'm so excited to finally read an Emily Henry book. The next book that I have on my list is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. The Hunger Games is one of the first books that I ever read, and it is one of the books that fueled my love for reading. So this series will always have a special place in my heart, and I am so excited to get Hamish's book. This book somehow already has a 4.79 star rating on Fable, which I anticipate that mine will definitely reflect that. As for its summary, it says, return to Panem 2 decades before the Hunger Games into the 50th Games Reaping. Dive into the thrilling prequel setting in Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this one. The next book that I want to read is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I've heard so many good things about Frederick Bachman in particular, not just this book. I absolutely love the movie, A Man Called Ove. I know that Ove is the book title and the movie has a different name, and I cannot remember for the life of me right now, but I absolutely love that movie. I have not read the book, so I'm really excited to get into some of his books just based on that movie alone. And I've heard that Beartown is really good, specifically from Sarah Crowley. On Fable, this book has a 4.36 star rating, and the summary: in a small forest town lies a dream of winning with the junior ice hockey team, but when a violent act unfolds, loyalty and friendship are tested. This is also, from what I've heard, a very good winter read. Obviously, just based off the cover, it looks so wintry, so I'm really excited to get into this, hopefully within the next month or so. The next book that I want to read is The Poppy War. This has been on my TBR for literally years. I think I bought this book back in high school. Let's see when it's published, because I got this not long after. Yeah, I bought this back in high school, and I have had this copy since high school, so it is about time that I get to this. I don't know why I feel slightly intimidated picking this up, but I need to do it. I need to get over it, and I need to read it because I have heard so many good things. On Fable, it has a 4.26 star rating, and its summary: a brilliant fantasy debut set in a rich historical military world inspired by China's past. Follow Rin's journey filled with magic, treachery, and the looming threat of war. It just sounds so amazing, and I absolutely love the cover. I also love the cover of the second one, I believe. It's like more, it follows the same vibe, but instead of orange, it's blue, and it's just so beautiful. I really hope that I get to this year. It is one of my most anticipated reads forever, and I need to pick it up. I don't know why I have not yet. The next book on my list is The Will of the Many. This is a relatively new release book, I think, and I've kind of just seen it hitting different recommendations, and ever since I saw the first one, I have been wanting to pick it up. On Fable, it has a 4.62 star rating, and according to its summary, at Canton Academy, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. At Canton Academy, a fugitive infiltrates to solve a murder and uncover world-shattering secrets in this gripping fantasy by acclaimed author. That sounds amazing. I'm so excited. I've heard so many people raving about it, so I'm really excited to get into this one. The next book that I want to read is One Dark Window. Again, I've heard so many good things about this, and I am just so excited to see what all the rave is about. Fable, it has a 4.3 star review, and its summary states: in an eerie mist-locked kingdom, Elspeth must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom. A dark gothic fantasy filled with secrets, deceit, and magic. There is nothing I love more than a dark gothic fantasy, so I am probably going to read this around October. I feel like it sounds like the perfect October read, just dark and gothic. I'm super excited for this one. The next book that I have on my list is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I did attempt to read a little bit of it. I think you can see the 2 tabs that I have, but I just was not feeling it when I initially picked it up. So I hope that my second time of reading this will be a lot more successful. It was really good. The little chunk that I read, I don't really know why I set it down. On Fable, it has a 4.25 star rating. Book summary states, in a war among gods, rival journalists Iris and Roman find love through magical letters. Facing hellish depths, they seal their fate forever. Divine rivals, epic enemies to lovers fantasy with hope, heartbreak, and the power of love. I love enemies to lovers. I'm really looking forward to this. I love the writing element that's in this, so I'm just really excited to hopefully get back into this. The next book on my list is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I did also try to pick this book up back in the summer. I literally only got to page 19. I don't really know why I set it down. I think I had just bought another book at the time and I wanted to read that one more, so I set this down and just never ended up getting back to it. Really hope that I get to it in 2025. One of my friends absolutely loves this book. She loves this author. I also do know that Just for the Summer is in an interconnected standalone series, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know if this is technically the first one that I should read. I need to look into that, but this is one that I am very much wanting to get into in 2025. I absolutely love the cover. It's beautiful. Like, just for that sole fact alone, I would love to get into this book, which is not good. I should not judge it by its cover, but you know, we all do. So this book has a 4.47 star rating on Fable, and its summary states, join a man with a dating curse and a nurse with unexpected plans on a summer adventure in Minnesota. Scheming to break the hex, love might surprise them both at the lake cottage. The setting of this book just sounds amazing. I am from the Midwest, so nothing beats a Midwest summer to me. So I'm really excited to read this. Hopefully this will be a summer read as well, because I feel like it just really fits the vibe. The next book that I want to read is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I got this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition with the blue sprayed edges, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I love the cover of this book. Again, just for that reason alone, I really want to get into it. As for Fable, it has a 4-star rating. And the summary states, in a dazzling world of video game design, 2 college friends find fame, tragedy, and immortality. This unique love story is utterly brilliant and absorbing. I am just, again, so excited to get into this. I am excited for all of these books. If that's not apparent, I literally cannot wait to just read more in 2025. I didn't read as much as I wanted to in 2024. I only got to 8 books, which is so unlike me. I had the biggest reading slump year that I've ever had. So I'm just trying to rekindle my love for books and get myself out of this reading slump and just get into some worlds and books that I have been wanting to get into for forever. The next 2 books that I want to read are both by Elsie Silver. The first one is Reckless and the second one is Hopeless. These are the last 2 books in the Chestnut Springs series. I have read the first 3, which are Flawless, Heartless, and Powerless. This series is an interconnected standalone series, so they all follow the same group of friends, the same group of family, but each book follows its own couple. I actually just finished Powerless. It was my first read of this year, so I'm really hoping to finish the rest of this series. I still need to get the last book in the series, which is Hopeless, and then my Chestnut Springs series will be finished, and I'm just so excited. I absolutely love this series. I love a good cowboy romance, and it is just the perfect palate cleanser read. There is nothing I love more than just a smutty, spicy romance as a palate cleanser. They are just so good. I love this series and I love Elsie. As for Reckless alone, it has a 4.39 star rating, and this book follows Theo, a rowdy bull rider, as he sets his sight on a woman in a toxic marriage, which we already know who this woman is from the other book. She resists, but their scorching hot night together leads to an unexpected secret. I'm so excited to read about these 2 characters because we have obviously heard a lot about the female main character. And then as for Hopeless, it has a 4.06 star rating on Fable. The next book that I want to read in 2025 is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. As I just said, I love the Chestnut Springs series, so I'm sure I'm going to love this. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, specifically the second book, the one with the orange cover. So I'm just excited to get into it and read more of Elsie Silver because I love her. According to Fable, it has a 4.08 star review, and the summary states, escape to Rose Hill and this charming small town romance. Join the captivating characters of Chestnut Springs for new love stories set in 2024. The next book that I want to read in 2025 is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I have heard so many good things about this book. What I do know about this book is that it is set in the same world as Caraval, which I did read that series back in high school when it was really popular on BookTube. It has been quite a while. I feel like I will probably need to refresh my memory on what happened in Caraval and the books following. Once I do that, I do want to get into Once Upon a Broken Heart. I've heard that a lot of people actually prefer the series to Caraval, so I'm really excited to kind of compare the two series. On Fable, it has a 4-star rating, and its summary states that it is a captivating tale of love, curses, and sacrifices. Evangeline strikes a deal with a wicked prince of hearts, unaware of his true intentions. Will she find her happily ever after or face a tragic fate? Perfect for fans of fantasy and romance. I'm obviously a fan of fantasy and romance. The next book that I want to read is Half a Soul. Something about the cover just absolutely captivated me. Something about the green and the moon on the cover. I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. On Fable, it has a 4-star rating, and its summary says, in this whimsical Regency England, cursed Dora must navigate fairy affairs and an ill-mannered Lord Sorcier to find love, a perfect historical fantasy romance. I love historical fantasy romances, especially Regency England. I am just so excited to get into this. It sounds like everything I love just mashed into one book. The next book that I want to get into is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have been wanting to read so many books by Brandon Sanderson. I would really love to get into the Cosmere one day. It's just so intimidating because there are so many books and they are so long, so big. I thought I would start with Mistborn. I've heard that this is a good place to start. I am just so excited to pick up one of his books finally. According to Fable, it has a 4.52 star rating, and its summary, a landmark fantasy series filled with heist, political intrigue, and epic scale where a crew plans to overthrow a divine despot. Will the hero of prophecy succeed? That sounds so good to me, so I cannot wait to get into this. The next book that I want to read is Shady Hollow. I absolutely adore this cover. I just love the little animals on it. I think it is so adorable. I've heard some mixed reviews on it, but nonetheless, I still want to read it. It has a 3.78 star rating, and the summary states, in Shady Hollow, a village of woodland creatures, a murder rocks the peaceful setting. Reporter Vera Vixen must solve the case before more lives are in danger. A thrilling and cunning vintage crime mystery. One of the things I heard about this book is that all of the main characters are actually animals. I love animals, and I just want to see how the author wrote this from the perspective of animals. Literally, the back says quirky and clever, charming and smart. That just sounds so good. The next book that I want to read is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. The synopsis of this book just sounds so intriguing. From what I've heard, it follows the main female protagonist who inherits this apartment, and as soon as she steps through the door, she is sent back 7 years in time. According to Fable, it has a 4.31 star rating, and the summary states, a weary book publicist falls for her temporary roommate only to discover he exists 7 years in the past. A heartwarming romance that defies time. I'm just so excited to get into it. I've also heard that it is a good autumnal read. I guess it's set in autumn. The cover is also giving very autumnal vibes with the leaves. So I'm just so excited. I don't know if I'll be able to save this one all the way until autumn because I want to read this super soon because I'm so intrigued. The next book that I want to read is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. I'm currently reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies right now. I'm about a little more than halfway through and I am loving it so far. It is so whimsical and the writing is so good. I absolutely love how the format of this book is journal entries. We're getting all of these thoughts specifically from Emily Wilde herself through journal entries, which I think is a very cool and kind of unique way to tell a story, and I feel like it fits Emily Wilde's character so well. I also love Wendell. He is so funny, and I'm loving the series so far. It is such a joy to read. So I am sure that I'm going to absolutely love Map of the Otherlands. I've heard that some people like this one better than the first one, so I have really high hopes for this book. The covers of this are just absolutely gorgeous. These are the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. According to Fable, it has a 3.97 star rating. The summary states, join prickly Professor Emily Wilde on a magical adventure in the far north, unraveling fairy secrets in a charming, enchanting new fantasy series full of snow, magic, and intrigue. The next book that I want to get into is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I am kind of nervous going into this series because I'm not really sure how I'm going to feel about it, but I still want to get into it nonetheless. I saw this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition cover and I thought it was just absolutely gorgeous. I love the holographic iridescent of the Binding 13 font. I also love the pink sprayed edges. I'm really hoping that I love this. One of my friends absolutely adores this book, so if she likes it, I feel like I'm gonna have to like it, but I don't know why, I'm just nervous. I'm not sure if I'm intimidated by the size of it or the long series. I do think that one of the reasons that I am kind of nervous to get into this is that it is YA, and it's a long YA book at that. On Fable, it has a 4.45 star rating, and the summary states, an epic love story begins between damaged Shannon and popular rugby player Johnny at Talman College. Filled with angst and undeniable chemistry, a binge-worthy YA Irish romance awaits. So I'm kind of nervous. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel, but it's on my TBR nonetheless because I've heard really good things about it. We'll see what I think when I'm done reading it. We have made it to the last book of my 25 books for 2025, and it is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I initially saw Emmy Rossum reading this. I absolutely love her, and I trust all of her recommendations. I have really high hopes for this book. I think I'm going to absolutely adore it. On Goodreads, it has a 4.18 star review. The summary states, in a world ruled by God's offspring, DM unearths dark family secrets, entering descended royalty's world amidst civil unrest, romance, and power struggles in a captivating fantasy series. Everything about that summary just sounds so fun and like something I will really enjoy. I just love anything fantastical and magical. I just want to live in a fantastical magical realm, so reading all of these fantasy books this year is just going to transport me into the worlds that I want to live in. I'm just so excited. I cannot wait to see what this is all about. That is the last book that I am hoping to read in 2025. That brings us to the end of this video. I am going to leave my Fable link down below, and I will make a 2025 TBR with all of these books. That way you can add them to your TBR or just check them out. So go check out my Fable. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I absolutely love talking about books, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment this emoji down below so I know who has stayed until the end of the video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.